This is completely and utterly un-Australian.
It is.
This is PC gone mad.
Absolutely. Now, if I was to slip and fall on a small piece of onion in Bunnings, you know what I'd do?
What?
I'd look around and make sure no bastard saw me. I'd get up and I'd walk off.
You'd dust yourself off.
And you'd go. And then you know what I'd do on the way out? I'd get another snag.
Exactly right. I think it's completely un-Australian. Now, do we know if she's an Australian-born nurse?
No, we don't. We do know that she's going to sue.
She's going to sue Bunnings?
Yes. I actually have the lawsuit here. She's suing for a lifetime supply of red aprons. Or some oil for a
she
deck.
She should know as a nurse. Like, they've seen worse shit on the floor.
Yeah.
They've seen shit on the floor. Literally shit on the floor. Now, I would like to actually question there, though. Is she actually enjoying her job, though? But apparently, as you know what? Now, I'm just looking at this on the net. Another victim. There's been another victim.
Another victim.
A Queensland farmer said, this is serious stuff. He... Apart from going, my farm's going down the shitter, but which is the more prevalent issue to deal with.
And you know the ironic thing? He's an onion farmer.
Is he really?
No, I just made that up.
Well, he goes. He described an alarming event where he visited Bunnings only to be undone by the same slippery vegetable.
Slippery vegetable?
Yeah, he goes, I walked in the shop and it happened so fast. I had leather boots on and I went down on my back. Now, describing his injury, he compared it to his days in the ring. So
hang on. This guy was a boxer.
Well, he reckons he used to be an amateur boxer and he learnt that the punch is not going to kill you. It's hitting your head on the concrete that's going to. So he went to another Bunnings a couple of weeks later and then he had a panic attack.
Bloody hell.
Now,
that's pretty full on.
I'll go to a Bunnings and have a panic attack if I go, there's this small job I need to do at home.
Yep.
And I'll get it done quickly. I'll just pop to the local Bunnings and then I'll roll in and then after not finding the object that I need, I get pointed out by someone in a red jumper and a green apron.
Yep.
Okay. Then they'll point me to the item and then I'll find out it's $40 goddamn dollars just for this little electronic thing that I need, or maybe to run some conduit, or maybe I just need a sample pot of paint to fix something up.
Well, you need 5 screws and you've got to buy 1,000.
Yes. I hate that. And that's why Bunnings is the most shoplifted store in Australia.
Yeah, but it's only like 4 screws at a time.
Anyway, this guy goes, he said despite the changes, he had a word for the wise. He goes, every time I go to Bunnings now, I look on the floor. He's looking for onions. I'm going to look for onions. Now, here we go.
All right.
Here's where we make our money off Bunnings.
Right.
Everyone's worried about the onions now.
Yep.
We're going to create an app, okay, that hunts for vegetables and gives you reward. So we're going to base it off Pokemon Go.
Yes.
And you're going to be hunting onion. That's all you're going to do is hunt onion, and we'll make a mozza off it. You know what? This tragic incident, I don't think it's really that tragic. Farmer Joe and Nursey Nurse. You want to make some money off Bunnings? I'm going to make some money off your dumbasses. Hunt for onions, saving lives. This is going to be the thing, the money spinner. Not only are we saving lives, but everyone is going to be contributing to my fund, our fund of getting a new Ferrari Testarossa, even though they don't have new ones these days. I just like that model. And thank you, Nursey. Thank you, Farmer. You've done your thing, but now we're going to have this app. Kids are going to run around Bunnings now. This is the thing. It's hard to keep kids in a behaved mode in Bunnings anyway. So just, look, hand them the smartphone. They can go off and try and find...
Catch some onion,
catch some capsicum, catch whatever it needs to be, all right? It'll reduce slip and falls. Bunnings will come and they will literally kneel for this idea.
Well, look, I think maybe they should just get rid of the onion altogether. Right?
No.
Hear me out.
No, I love the onion.
Onion's good, but let's substitute it with another vegetable.
Yeah.
Let's go leeks, because, you know, there's just some times when you stand out the front of Bunnings and you just want to have a leak.
The price has caused it, officer.
Loose talk, even looser opinions. The Burble.
As you know, that I don't mind a bit of local theatre, and I'm involved in local theatre.
Yes.
And I know what it takes to act watched on stage. Now, I don't really know. I've had a little bit, a tiny little slither of television acting, and also in a film. I had, basically, you can't see my face, you can see my arm, and that's it.
Right, what about your cameo in Australia's Most Wanted? Does that count?
No, that doesn't count.
All right, fair call,
Yeah.
fair call.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
You less some teeth later. To most sane adults, which we are, but anyway, we were teenagers when this happened. The phenomenal success of the mighty Morphin Power Rangers during the 90s baffled me. I'd come home from school, and there's the TV, you flick it on, and then there's this stupid, they're in, morph suits pretty much, and they're running around beating up robots in some fake Tokyo. They get together, they all form at the end of the show, and they're fighting these robots and stuff like that.
They're just dudes in suits, like big rubber suits.
It was all shot, they shot most of the robot stuff was shot in Japan.
Yeah, they ripped it off another show.
And then they slapped all this other stuff on there. But the show was, it was so low rent, but to fans of it, they thought it was brilliant.
They loved it. And it went on for years, and there was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Turbo Power Rangers. There was so many different Power Rangers.
Well, these Power Rangers, I've got to tell you, right, because there's the show's creator, Haim Saban, casted 5 American teenagers, paid them all.
That's 3.
Worked them hard, and then cheaply fleshed out the non-violent segments of this particular show. It launched in 1993. We didn't get it here in 93, did we?
Oh, God, no.
So it came in I think it was 94, 95 or something like that. It was so badly choreographed, and they basically hired these kids who looked like they came off the set, the rejects from Saved by the Bell or something like that.
Oh, the extras in the surf club at Summer Bay.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, they got given these attitudes, and they were granted the ability to morph into Power Rangers in order to fight off these massive mecha robots in the middle of Tokyo. And I felt at the time, I felt so bad for Tokyo. I'm going, man, these civic architects are working overtime because they've just built a building. Now it's smashed by Mothra or some shit like that.
But imagine the unemployment rate. It'd be 0. Everyone
And the
would be
death
working.
rate. So why would these teens actually want this job? But anyway, look, I need to tell you, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers became one of the biggest things of the 90s. It turned over billions of dollars, subsequently movies and everything else. Now, look at the toys. Now, the toy industry made a ton of money off these kids.
The 90s was the pinnacle of toys.
It was the pinnacle of toys. These actors hated it. They got paid all.
4.
That's 4. They got paid nothing. The blue Power Ranger was called Billy. The actor was David Yost. Apparently, he was relentlessly teased by staff on the show for being homosexual, which you can't do these days.
God, no.
No, you shouldn't even have done it back then.
No.
The reason why he walked off that is he was called a fag one too many times. He just went, you know what? Stuff this. I'm off.
Had a gutful.
And you know what? He said, I'm supposed to be an actor. I'm not supposed to be a superhero and stuff like that. But they replaced nearly all of these actors on this show because they were getting paid shit. They were treated like shit. And let's face it, the content was shit. Would you have put your hand up to be a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger?
Now or then?
Then.
Probably yes.
Because you'd fit in the suit?
Not
you
now.
wouldn't fit into it now.
No, I don't think there's enough Leica in the world to cover me.
No.
Probably, the 90s was a different time. It was all about superheroes and superpowers. You had the Turtles, you had the Transformers, all that kind of gear. It was a great time. And, if you could have been part of that, it would have been awesome. Who doesn't want to fight massive, giant robots while your package is hanging out in a pair of Lycra pants?
Well, I'd prefer to do it, on a video game, not be filmed on television.
Well, I suppose.
To do it.
Back when we were active and stuff, and in high school, it would have been pretty cool.
But still.
Yeah, probably not.
Knowing your luck, you'd be like Steve Buscemi in, Reservoir Dogs saying, why am I Mr. Pink?
Yeah.
And you ended up as the Pink Power Ranger.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
Or
would you be proud to walk into any department store and go, son, see that Pink Power Ranger? That's me. I wouldn't.
Yeah, probably not.
Now, some TV shows foster the young actor so they can build them up to be, bigger than they know that they're going to go far.
Yeah.
Look at Margot Robbie from Neighbours.
Yep.
She's now acting next to Leonardo DiCaprio. She acted against Jared Leto, who played the Joker.
She's going to have her own film soon.
Yeah, she was in I, Tonya.
Yep. She did all right.
She's producing films now.
Yeah.
She's done. Not the damn kids from the Power Rangers.
God, no. They've had a sordid history.
Exactly right. They're going, oh, you're a Power Ranger. That's the peak of your career. Was it your first job? Yes.
It's your last
That's the
job.
peak. Yeah, exactly right. These poor pricks, okay, are just getting absolutely shat on due to the fact that they were a mighty Morphin Power Ranger. One of the actors ended up sleeping in their Jeep with their dog.
Yeah. Another one got busted on crystal meth and is in jail.
Oh, you know what? Some young TV actors who you wouldn't think who came from wholesome TV shows have had some sordid pasts.
Absolutely.
Let's have a look at Dana Plato. Do you know who Dana Plato is?
I must admit I do not.
Dana Plato played the daughter of Mr. Drummond on Different Strokes.
Wow, now you're going back.
Different Strokes. Here's a reminder.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man of means. Then along come two. They got nothing but the genes, but they got different strokes to move the world. Yes, it does. It takes different strokes to move the world.
There's the theme from Different Strokes. There's your reminder. She was the white daughter that lived with Willis and Arnold.
Right.
In the Drummond household at Different Strokes. Okay. She ended up doing a video game. Well, they actually filmed it for a different reason, but she ended up being part of a video game which was very notorious for a Sega Mega Drive, the Sega Mega CD. It was called Night Trap. And she was a secret agent, and you had to splice in and look at security cameras of the house and trap these terrorists because they were going to maul them and do whatever they did with these young girls that went to a lake house, okay?
And immediately got into bikinis.
Well, they did a little bit in the game, but you actually have to push the right buttons to get that far into the game.
Right.
Dana Plato ended up dying of a drug overdose in a caravan outside of her boyfriend's house.
Wow.
And there you go. Not a great career. I want to say that I was actually a very big fan of this girl growing up. She was on Full House. Jodie Sweetin played Stephanie Tanner on Full House.
Yes.
She went on, after Full House went off the air, married a cop, had some kids. A police officer married a cop.
Yep.
Which in America is a thing, and it is a thing in Australia, so to speak. But anyway, she got that lonely wife syndrome.
Yeah.
She got the lonely wife syndrome.
So it wasn't a Full House.
No, well, she wasn't a Full House up here at the time, pointing at my head. But anyway, what happened was she started smoking crystal meth.
Okay.
She started smoking crystal meth. The marriage collapsed because she admitted it and then broke up.
Right.
She's come back and now she's on Fuller House, which is on Netflix, which is the sequel to Full House, which is a really great show if you like that wholesome entertainment. But I just think that these guys, they used and abused these guys from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You know what I mean?
Of course they did. I mean,
why is that?
I don't know. I guess because there's plenty more child actors out there. And in America, it's the cult of fame, though, isn't it, Benny? Like, you'll do anything to get on television. And so I guess the kids were pushed by their parents in a lot of cases, and they were living vicariously through them, and the parents really didn't care how it went down as long as they could say their child was famous or on the television.
The Red Ranger was Ricardo Medina. He played Cole, okay? He played Cole. And anyway, he was recast as a villain 9 years later in the show because he thought, well, no one's going to give a shit. They're not going to know that this guy was playing it. Anyway, what he did is he stabbed a housemate to death using a Conan the Barbarian sword.
Bloody hell. Seriously?
Yeah. So a lot of people say that if there's any one role in Hollywood is going to cause you issues, what would it be? Now, a lot of people have said Superman.
Yes.
Because the original Superman, he unfortunately committed suicide.
Yes.
The unfortunate accident with Christopher Reeve. I don't know the name of the guy that played Superman in Man of Steel, But I don't think anything bad has happened to him.
Well, his career's gone really well after that.
Oh, true.
Henry Cavill.
Is that Man of Steel? Or?
No. I don't
Is
know.